That's okay. Good evening, Instagram. We're going to be starting a live guided meditation now. So, for those of us on Zoom, may I invite you to take your seat? So, however that works for you, making sure you're comfortable, but not in a situation, because it is 9 o'clock at night here at this time in London. I know maybe slightly later in other places, but or earlier. Where we are right now, you can be a bit sleepy at this time of night. So not anything that will make you be too sleepy. Just supporting your kind of feet on the floor or the surface beneath you. And just beginning to arrive. Really giving ourselves permission to be here now. To be taking this time for ourselves. And checking in with how we're doing just right now. Checking in with our body. Noticing what's calling for our attention. What's here in this body space. Checking in with our heart space. Making space for whatever is here in this moment without needing it to be different or trying to change it. Just noticing. Aware also of thoughts as they move through our mind. Doing our best not to get too caught up with the content. And when we feel ready, we can begin to focus our attention on the lower half of our body. So we can begin to slow down and tune in and come home to this body. So noticing sensations in our feet, our calves and shins, our knees and thighs, our sitting bones and hips and pelvic area. So we begin to notice the weight of the lower half of our body, grounded and connected, solid and present. As we slow down and tune in. Beginning to become aware of the length of our spine now. Seeing if we can create that length so our body is wakeful. Softening in our shoulders so there's some space between our ears and our shoulders. Maybe allowing the shoulders to drop down and back. Sensing our arms and hands, noticing sensations here in our arms and hands. Maybe there's some subtle sensations of a breeze over the skin of our hands, or some tingling, or some areas of heat or coolness in our hands. So we're gathering our attention, focusing on our hands. We can gently and gradually move our attention to the back of our neck and our head and the top of our head. Our forehead and temples. And as we notice our eyebrows, maybe giving our eyebrows a wriggle and softening and releasing our eyebrows. And softening the gaze behind our eyelids. And beginning to notice our cheekbones and nose. as we tune into the tip of our nose, noticing the breath as it enters and leaves. Maybe the breath is cool as we breathe in and warm as we exhale, feeling the cycle and flow of each breath. This breath. And this breath. And our body knows exactly what to do. You can just begin to notice that we are breathing. And each time we notice our breath, it's an opportunity to start again. To be here now in this moment with this body. Sensing our lips and our teeth and gums and our jaw. Giving our jaw a gentle wriggle to release and soften. Softening the whole of this face. And following the breath down the throat into these lungs, this belly. Beginning to let our attention rest gently on the cycle and flow of each breath. And we're breathing, and our body knows that we're breathing. Moment to moment awareness. Of this breath, this body. Just this. Slowing down and tuning in. Coming home to this body. doing our best to stay curious and interested in each breath. Noticing how the body receives each breath. The way the body feels as we release each breath. And each time we find ourselves distracted, we can gently and kindly bring our attention back to this breath in this moment and start again each time. A new beginning. And if we find that following the breath is too challenging, for whatever reason, we can come back to sensations in our feet, or perhaps sensations in our seat. And maybe noticing our hands. Or coming back to the breath if we feel ready. Feet, seat, hands, breath. Simplifying our lives in this moment. beginning to deepen our breath. So as we breathe in, imagining that breath spreading throughout the whole of this body, from our head and face, neck and throat, expanding our chest and our belly, moving into our shoulders, our arms and our hands, the length and breadth of our back, our hips and pelvic area, our legs and our feet. So we're beginning to sense the whole of this body as it is just right now, whole and complete, and softening in our body with each in-breath and letting go with each out-breath, deepening each breath as we go. So we're gradually filling our lungs as much as we can, expanding our ribs, making space in the front of our body, releasing and letting go, emptying our lungs on the out-breath. And checking in once again with how we're doing just right now. What's here? Asking as though we would a friend. How are we doing just right now? And reflecting on that meditation, this time we've taken for ourselves. What did we notice? How did we meet our experience? What qualities were we aware came up during this meditation? Were we kind and patient? Or was there some frustration and irritation or something else? Just cultivating an awareness of our experiences without judgment. Beginning to sense the space around this body as we slowly wriggle our fingers and toes and wrists and ankles. And we might want to stretch the body a little bit if that feels good, as I share a little poem with you. Some of you may have heard before. This is called, actually I don't even know what it's called, but it's by Martha Postlethwaite. Do not try to save the world or do anything grandiose. Instead, create a clearing in the dense forest of your life and wait there patiently until the song that is your life falls into your own cupped hands and you recognize and greet it. Only then will you know how to give yourself to this world so worthy of rescue. So thank you so much for joining me. How is everybody doing? I'm going to say goodbye to Instagram. Thank you for joining me. Take care.